Harry tell me they are very frustrated that this was leaked, this meeting was leaked. It's a big coincidence that a paparazzi photographer just happened to be there to capture the moments that one of the King's senior aides and Harry's two senior aides were speaking to one another in London.
Hold up. Did King Charles just go full royal rage mode? Word on the street is that His Majesty is fuming after private peace talks with Harry and Meghan allegedly leaked. Some insiders are whispering that Meghan's camp might have strategically spilled the details to boost her and Harry's image, while others claim it was an accidental slip that turned Buckingham Palace upside down. Either way, the royal group chat is definitely on fire right now. But wait, that's not all. There's also buzz that Harry recorded parts of a conversation for a future project. Like, are we about to get a docuseries sequel or another bombshell memoir? And here's the real kicker. Was this leak the final nail in the royal coffin? And did King Charles just threaten to call off all talks for good? When Meghan Markle first joined the royal fam, King Charles, back when he was just Prince Charles, was actually kind of vibing with her. He even walked her down the aisle at the royal wedding in 2018, which everyone thought was super sweet and symbolic. Like, here's the future king stepping in, showing the world he's chill with Meghan.
As the prince looked on, Markle, now the Duchess of Sussex, walked down the aisle of St. George's Chapel, accompanied part of the way by Prince Charles, her new father-in-law. Hundreds of guests looked on as the two exchanged vows and seemed to have eyes only for each other.
Rumor had it he was impressed with her activism, confidence, and how she brought some modern energy to the centuries-old crown. Fast forward a bit, and behind-the-scenes things were not giving harmony. The media was ruthless with Meghan, and apparently that tension started bubbling inside the palace too. Charles, who's all about image and tradition, reportedly wasn't thrilled with how Harry and Meghan started doing their own thing, ditching royal protocols, clapping back at the press, and low-key ignoring palace advisors. Allegedly, Charles felt like they were turning the crown into content, and he did not love that. Then came the real plot twist in 2020. Meghan and Harry said we're out and dipped from royal duties.
I don't want history to repeat itself. I do not want to be a single dad. And I certainly don't want my children to have a life without a mother or a father.
Now, sources say Charles was shocked, hurt, and honestly kind of embarrassed. And then the Oprah interview dropped. Yeah, that interview, with racism claims and major royal tea spilled for the whole world. Word is, Charles was heartbroken and pissed. Meghan said they cut Harry off financially, and royal insiders were quick to scream, "Not true," from the rooftops.
Prince Charles did want to issue a more detailed statement in response to the Oprah interview and possibly address some of those issues point by point. But there was an evening to think about things, and in the end it was decided that a shorter statement would be better, that actually by going into things point by point could be potentially more damaging and give more ammunition for this row to continue. I think Prince Charles and Prince William were keen to correct perhaps some of the things that the couple had said. I know that Prince Charles was particularly frustrated by the suggestion that financially Charles just cut the couple off, when if you speak to sources in Charles's camp, that wasn't the case. He did continue funding them for quite some time.
Still, when Charles became king in 2022, he left the door cracked open. He even gave Harry and Meghan a sweet little shout-out in his first speech as king, which felt like a subtle, "Hey, we can fix this" moment. But now, in 2025, the king is reportedly livid after private peace talks with Harry somehow leaked to the press. Like, absolutely seeing red. So, here's how it all supposedly went down. After years of tension, shade, and headline after headline, King Charles and Prince Harry were finally trying to sort things out. Privately. No press releases, no staged photo ops. Just low-key conversations happening behind palace walls and over secure phone calls, according to people close to the situation. The talks were never meant to be some dramatic royal summit.
The King's Director of Communications, Tobin Andre, sitting down in the open with Meredith Maines, who is Harry and Meghan's right-hand woman, and their new London, UK-based PR, Liam Maguire. Now, sources close to Harry tell me they are very frustrated that this was leaked, this meeting was leaked. But I would wonder, it's a big coincidence that a paparazzi photographer just happened to be there to capture the moments that one of the King's senior aides and Harry's 2 senior aides were speaking to one another in London. Now, Meredith, I knew, was in London anyway, because she was having various meetings with Harry's charity work and all the rest of it. Funnily enough, I wasn't told about this meeting with Tobin from Buckingham Palace, but what this does show is there is some kind of channel of communication starting to open up. Harry's team would not have taken that meeting without Harry's blessing. The King's team would not have taken that meeting without the King's blessing. So something is happening here.
In fact, Meghan and Prince William reportedly weren't directly involved in these early talks. This was strictly a father-son situation, and from what insiders claim, it was slow, careful, and honestly awkward.
It is that the two parties have obviously come to the agreement on behalf of the King and behalf of Prince Harry to have this meeting. Interestingly, though, there were no representatives at this meeting on behalf of Prince William. So that rift between the brothers is still there. But Pete, I would say it seems quite serious because someone has leaked this to the media and wants this information out there. And as we know, in May, Prince Harry did that interview with the BBC where he said he wants reconciliation, he wants to talk to his father, and it appears that maybe he's now serious about this.
To keep things calm, a few trusted intermediaries may have been used. Think private secretaries, close friends, or even neutral family members, all working to keep things civil and completely under wraps. The plan? Feel it out first. If it went well, then maybe bigger conversations could happen later. But now, we may never get to that point. Somehow, news of the talks leaked. The entire thing hit the press with just enough detail to make people believe it. Suddenly, this private progress turned into public drama. For King Charles, who values discretion like it's gold, this was reportedly a massive breach of trust.
But they were leaked to the press, which has caused consternation on both sides. Now, of course, knowing Harry's reputation for leaking everything to the press, you could be forgiven for wondering whether they may have been involved in doing this, although that would be an act of Harry-Kiri, jettisoning their own talks. Prince William's aides weren't present at this meeting between the King's aides
this meeting took
and
place
Harry's aides.
in a sort of private club.
It took place at the Royal Overseas League, which isn't really an exclusive club, but it's a club in St James's. Looking on to...
Is that the one that's looking...
So why are Meghan and Harry suddenly looking to re-enter royal territory after years of slamming the institution, stepping back, and setting up shop in California? Well, the answer might be simpler and more uncomfortable than anyone expected. They need stability, and more importantly, they might need money. Let's be real. After signing massive deals with Spotify, Netflix, and publishers, the Sussexes were riding high in 2020 and 2021. But fast forward to 2025, and the picture isn't so glamorous. Their Spotify deal collapsed. The Netflix contract is rumored to be on thin ice, with little new content to show. Harry's memoir sold well, sure, but that momentum doesn't last forever. Behind the scenes, multiple sources claim the couple has been struggling to maintain the lifestyle they once seemed set to dominate. And now? Meghan appears to be in hustle mode. She's launched or teased multiple brand ventures, everything from skincare and wellness to lifestyle products. Meghan needs her new ventures to work fast. Some insiders have even said she's pushing out multiple projects at once because she's under real financial pressure. One source bluntly put it, she's not building an empire, she's trying to survive. And the palace? Let's just say they're not exactly rolling out the red carpet, especially after the recent leaks. King Charles and Queen Camilla haven't forgotten what was said, especially by Harry. In his memoir, Spare, Harry didn't hold back. He painted Camilla as someone who was willing to sacrifice others to improve her public image, hinting she leaked stories to the press and played palace politics to win favor. It wasn't subtle, and it definitely wasn't taken lightly behind closed doors. Charles, who spent decades trying to rehabilitate Camilla's public image after the Diana years, is fiercely protective of her. Their relationship has always been the center of his world, controversial or not. The idea that Harry could so openly undermine the woman Charles waited his entire adult life to be with It was seen as not just disrespectful, but unforgivable.
Harry has also painted a full portrait of King Charles as a father, an insight into his life as not just a royal, but as his parent. And some of the details seem to have irked the king. In fact, reports say he is so furious at his son that he is planning to punish them. And I'm not saying this, royal observers are saying this. They say that Charles is outraged at some of the details provided by Harry, and he is working on a plan to bring him to task.
So while Meghan and Harry may want back in, either symbolically or strategically, Charles isn't rushing to welcome them, especially with Camilla's feelings in the mix. For a man who famously waited decades for the woman he loved, there's no chance he'll turn his back on her now to make room for two people who publicly questioned her integrity. In the end, this isn't just a family feud. It's a power struggle built on broken trust, public fallout, and years of tension. Do you think Harry and Meghan deserve a second chance with the royal family? Or has too much already been said and done? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.